Hello, hey, it's Amy, and today is DIY Day. I know you're as excited as we are to design some of these brand new kits that we created just for the fall season ahead and for those of you who love to create yourself. So it's a kit day, it's a design day. We have hours of fun design ahead, and if you are ready to join me, jump on, say hello, and thank you for watching this morning. Kate's helping behind the laptop today.
Good morning. I have a lot of links for you.
Hi,
That's
everybody.
all going to our website, magnoliasne.com. So you can find these DIY fall design kits on our website for a limited time, and we have the sale active this morning on the website as well.
So it's a very exciting day because this is actually the first time, second time that fall's been. I don't know. Fall does not go on sale till the open house normally, so this is kind of fun for you.
This is the first time this season.
So jump on and check out the website. We have, I didn't even count how many kits we ended up with, over 20.
Yeah, definitely over 20.
And I've got them all lined up, ready to go this morning, and we will be doing 3 hours this morning. So if you're watching this in replay, today's Saturday, August 9th. We're going to design from 9 to noon Central and create all these beautiful kits throughout the day, take a little hour break and come back at 1 and see how far we get with the rest of them. So everything behind me is for the afternoon session, and everything off camera is for the morning session. So it's going to be a lot of burgundy this afternoon. I have had such a response to our burgundy items that we are definitely doing several burgundy pieces today. I'm starting with kind of a mauve piece, which coordinates with what's behind me, but more into the family of mauve fall, using these beautiful neutral cone picks, beautiful wheat spray, lots of different things. So as we design, we'll be going through a lot of different stems and products.
Good morning, Kim. Good morning, Pat. Diane's ready to go, she said. Good morning, Deborah.
Do you have your coffee?
Debbie's been waiting. Hey, from Texas. Barbara, good morning. Woohoo, happy fall marathon, Ruth says. Good morning,
Thank you,
Jan.
Ruth. Good morning, everyone.
Yep, Rosella's catching us live. So yes, we have a big day ahead of us of lots of stuff. The sale is just finished getting uploaded to the online store, so I see some things are showing on sale, some things not quite uploaded yet into
It's
that
still
new
going?
sale price. Yep, so I'll be working on that and watching that, but basically we have 15% off this weekend of our single stems, so our fall and everyday stems, 15% off of vases and planters, 15% off of our fall ribbons and bows, and we also have 15% off base florals. This is something that I have brought back after doing some restructuring in the system by popular demand. So you will see those base garlands, base candle rings, base
And they are
wreaths,
everyday items as well.
every day in fall. Yep. So
Wonderful.
You'll see the green bases, the fall bases. Those
Everything
are
you're
on
after.
sale.
Everything you're after is on sale today.
Absolutely. So we'll just watch that sale is getting uploaded here into the weekend sale, and that sale ends Sunday night. So you're going to want to make sure you shop this deal before August 10th at midnight Central.
So do the shopping, get your kits, and you'll be able to watch these videos in replay. They'll be attached to the products, I believe, in the end.
Yes,
they get
we put them all
uploaded
up on
to the
YouTube.
products. That way you can find them. Oh, on YouTube? Okay.
Yep.
And then I've also just wrapped my wires. We do sell bundles of 5 22-gauge wires that are included in many of these kits. It is included, oh no, it's just suggested for this kit, I think. This is the Harvest Moon swag we're going to be putting together. And if you want to wrap some tape around your wire, I don't sell the tape, we just sell the wires, but you pinch your tape around, and if you were watching me, I just roll my wire into my tape. And it's a little bit of a trick to get onto, but it does make your wire tacky, and it grabs better and gives you a nice finish. So it's just a little pro tip, not a necessary step at all, but a fun pro tip.
Okay, so I'm going to snap a photo of the components on the table here, and then, oh, maybe, sorry, I'm blocking the camera. It's like blurry. Let's
So
see
we
if
have a
it's-
few steps in order to make sure all of these things work easily on the website. We do video of them, of course, for you to watch later. We do photography. of the layouts, the flat layouts of products, so that you can see all the components and
This camera's like,
all the steps.
come on, camera, wake up this morning. I know it's early on a Saturday morning.
It looks like it's pouring rain to the north of us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it looks pretty doom and gloom
looks
outside.
like things are coming this way. Maybe they're going around. We'll find out.
Sorry, something is happening with this camera. This is an old phone. There. Okay,
you got it?
Got it.
Okay.
Okay, are we ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, I get my hair tucked. We're good. So what we've got laid out for us will be a swag. This is called the Harvest Moon swag.
Wait, let me start this one.
Okay.
Ready? And... Okay.
So what we have laid out today is the Harvest Moon swag. That's the first item we're going to start with. The components, if we go through them one by one, are you going to read them out? Or yes, because I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, I probably will read them out for you. I have the Soft Mauve Sedum Spray. I think it's that one, yep. The Olive Salal Spray. The Burgundy Cosmos. Changing Maple Leaf Mix Spray. And a Mauve Garden Mum Spray.
There we go.
Optional is some wire if you need wire,
right.
And one Fall Day bow.
And
optional add-on.
That is this one as an option. I'll show it at the end. We also just received some new ribbon, and I can show you that as well. So it is an easy thing to do to make a swag. One thing to point out is that of our components, both of these are paper wrap stems. And historically, paper wrap stems can start coming unwound and looking a little raggy or disassemble themselves as you handle them. These stems have been cut off because, as you see, we put them together and we get the photography, and then I have to disassemble to start. So off camera, I have a little bit of glue, and I can dollop a little dot of glue at the end. It'll dry and secure the tape, and that way you can be assured your tape is not going to unwind. So on the two paper stems, that is a step I would do on anything when I am cutting a stem and not inserting it into foam. That way you're going to keep it nice and finished, nothing starts unraveling on you. Then we kind of start stacking. So a swag is easy in that you just need a little bit of wire to hold it together. A lot of it depends on the shaping. Shaping is hugely important. So with this piece, I'm going to pull a couple of the components backwards, and then I have lifted and fanned it open. So you want to make sure that all the space is created so you can lay other items into the stem. And this is the biggest one, that's why it becomes the background. Then we're going to layer on the salal stem, and same thing, I'm going to take the two bottom pieces here and bend it backwards to give it a little top so that we don't have all the stems pointing down. We've got some of them pointing upwards towards the top of our swag, but it will still remain tapered. And then we're just going to nestle that down on top. You can see what happens. It makes a nice tapered point just by bending a couple of stems upwards today. So that's relatively easy.
You can already see the shape coming into fruition.
Some of these have been trimmed a bit, and when you get your full-size stems, you'll see where they need to be cut. I'm just going to take one of the Cosmos pieces, the longest one here at the bottom, and also bend that backwards. And then you can see my stems are stacking, and I am nestling them on top of each other because we're going to, in the end, run the wire through and create the hanger. So you do want to create a nice stack of stems anytime you make a wired together swag. This Cosmos becomes the topmost piece, and then we're going to layer in some of this sedum spray. The sedum is nice and airy, so it keeps it looking a little fluffier, a little softer. And I'm taking one of the stems of sedum and pushing it up backwards. And these little stacking stems here won't be a problem because we should be able to pull our loose items of this swag over the top of those stems and just to disguise them later. You don't have to cut them all off. There is our Cosmos. And lastly, the mum. So the mum has also been cut off a little shorter. We're going to let all three of those point downwards. So basically just one of the Cosmos flowers has pointed upwards. right back up here. The rest of it is pointing down. So we're ready to wire it. And what you want to do is plan ahead, because your wire can also become the hanger. And our hanger doesn't need to be right up here at the very tippy top. It's usually right about where my hand is. I put it a little below the top. That way if it's on an over-the-door hanger, it disguises that a little bit. If it's on a nail, it's not just at the very tip, and it is going to be hidden when it hangs. We're using some of our wire to go across, and I use 2 wires to secure the swag and form the hanger. For sure, if not 3. It depends how you feel about the security of all the stems. So I've just picked a spot here. I've taken my wire across all stems. Then I'm twisting it through to the back. I always use pliers for these steps because I want to make sure that I have not just hand tightened my wires. I tighten them down with the good pliers. These, I assume, get linked somewhere today. Mm-hmm. And our hanger can be constructed out of a couple of different stems or wires. You can use the same wire and just make a loop. I have stepped away from that with my design team because we like to make hangers that are big enough that if you have one of those 1-inch wide metal or plastic over the door hangers, that your hanger has enough size to it to slip over that easily. But I am pulling 2 positions here about 1 inch apart, and then I'm going to twist those together and make a little loop on the back. It's about, what is the diameter? Maybe a 2.5-inch diameter loop, about like so. And I had, again, 2 different wires securing it about 1 inch apart, which ensures that they're locked down and they're not going to twist out of each other. And then I would just take my ends, which you saw that I cut shorter, and because the tape is on the wire, when I go to wrap over my loop and finish by basically just wrapping one wire around the other, the tackiness of the tape makes that a lot more neat and tidy looking, and you don't have these naked wires sticking out because the tape sort of squishes into itself and makes a cleaner hanger. Now you have to go back and check, because I feel like one of my short pieces of wire here could benefit down at the bottom, grabbing in another area, which looks to be about 4 inches below my hanger, just to keep those little stems stacked up and not winging apart. So I'm going to just take one more short scrap wire and add it a little lower, and then we can decide on the bow. So shaping is a huge step, and if you notice right now we didn't pull anything together, so I'm going to lift and move some of these stems back over each other. I had separated them out to lay everything in. Now they just need to get pulled apart, or pulled back together. Sorry, I'm saying it backwards. And then you want to check and see how you feel about the top, because some people are not bow people. And this pine cone does a nice job of filling in at the top. And if you twist your cosmos or your mum around, like giving it a little curl, you can reposition it lower. And we could essentially fill in our gap where we put the wire with the stems being repositioned, and stop there. That is one thing you can do. Let's see, we just want to pull these berries back in. The other thing is the bow that was suggested. So again, this one is called the One Fall Day bow. It was regular price $9. It's simple and neutral, and it has the cute crochet top. Let's see how that looks in there. I'm going to position it right underneath the pine cone, which is a great spot, and give it a twist and see what you think. There it is. So I have just enough fullness in that bow to fill in the gap, and it finishes it off nicely. And that would be your add-on item. So if you're purchasing the kit, the suggested items on the kit, it tells you to perhaps grab the wire if you need it, and it also says if you'd like the bow, here's what it's called, and I think that there's a link to the bow.
Yes.
So you can decide on that.
Beautiful Harvest Moon swag DIY kit. Okay. What do you think? All the comments are like, Oh my gosh, this is how we're starting. It's going to be like a tempting day.
Is it going to be?
I tried to take a photo from this angle, but someone has left some lovely handprints on our windows outside.
You can see those?
Yes, you can see those. So I was like, from my photo over here.
Oh, no.
So if you're just joining us, good morning. This was kit number 1 of many, many more to come. Beautiful swag, Rhonda said. Rosalie, good morning.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. Vanda, Tammy, Ruth said, beautiful, we're just starting. Mary's excited for today. So, Sue likes bows. I like bows too. I think stuff looks naked without bows.
Well, the bows are, there's a couple more being added today when Riley gets in. So I made a couple more bows. I'm going to take this one off because I'm going to need it one more time.
Make it look easy, Marcia says.
Well, it's my job to make it look easy for you. Here's how it looks on a large lantern, if that is a helpful inspiration. And the size is in the description of the product. So that could be an additional way to display your swag.
Absolutely.
A lot of new ribbon showed up today. You might want to keep in mind when you're shopping. This would be another choice. But I do have to make bows with this new ribbon, and I didn't get that far last night.
Oh,
so
but we just got that ribbon.
I know.
Beautiful.
So here would be another colorway that should be designed as an alternate for this. If you're a bow maker, these are brand new. They're in the online store.
Yes, I'm going to drop a link to fall ribbons and bows. Now, how come these aren't showing up on sale? Our sale is being very finicky this morning.
Good thing you're checking all the things. Here's
Yes.
some of the other new ribbon that just arrived.
Good morning, Carol.
This one just arrived. This one, I love that. We have that in olive also. And these here, I got a whole basket. I'm going to have to put them all back now. A floral has just arrived. So there's going to be some new ribbon tied bows popping into the online store yet this morning when Riley gets them in there.
I think that they are so new, and I made this sale like a while ago that it's like...
it's not catching.
Yeah, I'll get it updated here.
There's a nice velvet, a pumpkin, so I do have a lot of ribbon open ready to tie bows today if I get a minute in between. I don't know. But we are working through it. All of the things today.
Yes, there's lots of prep work that goes into it, and I'm always happy to see all the fun stuff.
Yes, it is a little bit
together.
of, well, it's a few hours of prep work.
More like a few weeks.
There we go. Okay,
That's
we'll need that bow again.
Okay.
Grab my next item.
Yes, so basically
day.
we are going to go, we have about a little over 20 kits today that we're going to go through. And Mom is going to design them one by one. You'll be able to go back and watch these videos on YouTube. So I'm recording them on another phone while we're live. So she's got 2 phones in front of her.
I'm going to use a couple of the same components in a row here, deliberately to show you different ways that this key piece can function. This is going to be very different for you.
Yes. So I might have to manually discount some of the things that are like refusing to go on my sale.
Okay, well this is going to be a wall basket drop-in. I don't know what she called it. She didn't write it down.
Okay, when we go into our floral kits, which is an easy tab on our website there. Right, the first thing, and now it's showing up on sale. Good, that worked. Okay, so we are ready for the next piece. Let me snap a photo.
This is going. Do you want the suggested basket in the photo?
No, let me just do components. Sorry, the camera I know is right in front of you. I upload these so that way in the product description when you're shopping on the website, you can see all the pieces and understand that it's not, a completed design.
Right.
All right, are you ready for this one?
Sure.
Okay, here we go. Okay, this is the Festival of Colors Wall Basket Drop-In Kit.
So we are suggesting this wall basket, but we do carry a couple others that are similar in size. This is about a 10 by 10 inch basket, a little bit of width to it. It just happens to have recently arrived, so we're using this one for the design as the suggested wall basket. You may have one at home that works as well.
So what is in this kit? This kit of the Festival of Colors, regular price of $58, includes 2 soft mauve sedum sprays, some floral wire, cream globe thistle stem, changing maple leaf mix spray, and 2 brown maple leaf sprays. Optional add-ons are linked in the product description as well, of a brown hanging basket or the welcome hanging basket.
Yes, and the brown hanging basket is not right handy today, but
Yep.
we have it linked so that you can click it and see.
Yes.
So then here is the base structure. Again, we made this one into a swag earlier. This has a paper wrap stem, and one thing about a basket design is that when you drop something in there, it's nice if it lands at the bottom. So one thing we can do with this design specifically is leave the stem length of this very strong, sturdy base stem in place, and as you can see, my design is going to sweep over the side of my basket and kind of become asymmetrical, and the little curl at the bottom becomes the foot to support it. So I can position that first, ensuring that as I wire everything together, it's supported by that foot on the stem that we left. So that is one key thing about drop-in designs. Now the obvious thing to do is to make it upright and straight up and down in the basket, which you can do with the very same components. What I wanted to show you was a little bit of a spin on it and create an asymmetrical design that flares over one side of the basket. So that's a little bit of a different thought process and will feel different for you, maybe something you hadn't thought of. So the first thing we'll do is start with our biggest components first and then put our airier pieces in last and see what you think. This one is going to need the stem cut on it. We have 2 brown leaf sprays, and they do come kind of scrunched together, so we're going to fan them open and flare them out a little bit, although we won't know exactly where they need to be until we get them in place. And then we're going to cut about 6 to 8 inches off the stem, and one of these needs to go back this direction. And we're also going to need to wire these stems together. So as I'm placing them, I have to lay the stems on top of each other, planning to have a tie point where the wire will secure them in a couple of spots together also. So that one's going to go one direction, and the other brown one is going to work into the leaves along with the spray. So let's cut them both off, take some of that stem length away. There we go. Looks like I need to make it a little shorter. These leaves, if they get too long, are going to stick up above the design and look too heavy. We want this to be a bit more compact onto the surface of the basket edge. So now we're laying in the brown leaf with the components, and just like another vertical swag I made with this leaf and berry piece, you have to lift and mix them together. So I have just worked that stem through. This stem is going to go off by itself this direction. It'll be more secure when we wire it. And then we're going to add our mauve stems, which both need to be cut shorter. This is a good filler stem. Stay put. Normally, if I'm designing in my workstation, this would be hanging on a little stand that I have built. We don't have anything I can suggest for you to buy, but we make little tabletop wreath hangers that are built to support wreaths and baskets like this when you're designing them, and that would be tremendously helpful right now. Okay, there we are placing our sedum sprays in there, and another sedum spray. You have to work and wiggle them together. There we are. And then our little pom-pom spray here. Thistle maybe, that I forgot the name of. It already comes with a shorter stem, but I am going to trim that off right down here and add that off to this side. Now all of our stems are secured on top of each other in one spot. So I will need to shape this really well. And before I do, I'm going to reach my hand in here and grab all the stems together and pull it up so you can see what we've got going on. This stem has now stacked on top of the one that's sweeping. So our first stem is the brown one with the foot holding it all in. Everything's sweeping at an angle except for these brown leaves, a sedum, and a pom-pom spray. I have a feeling these brown leaves are going to give us some fits and require some extra shaping. But we're going to wire it in there. because that's going to be the first step to controlling it all. So we'll get a couple of wires here at the base. It's essentially a drop-in, it's just that it's sweeping to one side. So it's best before you wire it to not just wire and then bend it, but to pre-shape it and then just pick it up and put some wire on it. So I'm going to use my wire and go around in a couple of spots. You can actually put one band of wire on and then drop down an inch with the same wire and add a second band around. So I'm always wiring in two positions, 2 points, about an inch, inch and a half apart, because one wire allows stems to spin out of where they're joined. Two wires do not allow the stems to spin apart. And then this extra brown leaf, I am taking a little length off the leaf that goes to the side, because I could see he was just winging up there. Okay, so once you got it in your basket, then you go back in and shape it out. And this basket, do you have a price point on the basket?
Yep.
This basket being brand new is why we wanted to use it today. It's essentially not a fall basket, so you could pretty much create a drop-in for every season.
The welcome hanging wall basket. And this basket is about 13 by 12 by 5.
Ah, bigger than I thought. Okay, so we're going to shape and move our berries around and our pom-pom spray, our thistle spray, getting moved around. There we go. And I will lay it over here so you can spin it around and show it to you. Again, shaping when you have wired items is the key to the finished look. You have to just bend and move things around, but that's the beauty of silk stems, is that you have the ability to get them to bend and shape. So here it's sweeping a little asymmetrically off to the side, and it has a nice different finish for you today.
Cute. What do we think of that one? I love wall baskets.
You know what this is missing? Bendy vine.
Bendy vine. How could we have forgotten? Do you have any in here?
It's over on the end of that rack if you want to hand it to me.
Yeah.
So the thing that we do with our store, any drop-in, no matter what it's made for, goes to you with a little piece of bendy vine on it. And as you know, bendy vine is our key component in anything around here. Love bendy vine. Also just accidentally lost the location for this brown leaf, but we'll find it later. With the bendy vine, it cleans up the stem at the, oh, here it is, at the bottom, and will give you a little bit more control over the placement in the basket also.
Do you have a tape measure?
I do.
Okay. We'll just give them some rough measurements. Now, the measurements completely depend on how you make it, because no two people are going to make it the same way, in the same size, so measurements are totally rough, depending on how you put it together. Love that. I love this brown chocolate caramel kind of mix. It's so pretty. Hey, now the DIY weekend sale's fully going. I only had to make 7 sales.
So this one made out about 24 by 20 roughly.
Okay.
And our design, actually, if you have the little bendy vine on there, one thing you could do is take the extra length of bendy vine and pull it back to the basket handle and just wire it in place on the basket handle.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So that would give you another way to secure it in there. And again, once you get it hanging, shaping it hanging up is a lot easier than working on the table. I kind of failed to realize that would have been an additional step that would make it easier to design for you today. Okay. Which reminds me about my turntable. I do have that. Okay.
It's called a Lazy Susan.
Lazy Susan.
A turntable's what DJs use. DJ Flower.
Okay, I'm going to quit fussing with this.
Marion, she's loving the wall basket. Hello, Phyllis. Carol, good morning. Vicki.
There you go. You could also add the a bow to the front of that, too.
Good to have you all on today. So that was kit number 2. Kit number 2 today. We're going to be live from, let's see, we started at 9 Central. We're going to be going till about 11 Central. And then we'll take an hour break for some lunch. And then we'll hop back on at noon to 2. There you go.
Wait, why is this not coming out?
Okay, I think we got it all. So the sale is rocking and rolling. Don't know why it was, lagging on a Saturday morning, but it is fixed now. Do you have enough water? Are you drinking water?
I am drinking water.
Drink your water, Pat. Love that mix. Also, she says, good morning, Martha from Chattanooga. Kim, I'm late to the party. I need
Good
to
morning.
make sure I get another notification for the afternoon video. I'll do that next. So, okay, let me pull this up because I actually don't know which one this is. I'm standing here looking at it and I don't know the name of it.
She did not write the names on things.
That's okay.
Okay.
I just usually scroll and find them. So everything's on our website, magnoliasne.com, making it really easy to find. And if you buy it this weekend, it's 15% off. So
this is suggested, so we'll take it out of the picture.
Suggested? Okay. What else is suggested? Just the moss. Okay. So let me snap a photo before we get going here of the components.
Those are included.
Okay. For the product photo. Okay, are we ready, Freddies? Next one. So this is the Single Mom Step Sitter Kit. Regular price is $97. And this kit includes all the components you see in front of Amy. So it includes the mixed orange mum bush, our favorite best-selling restocked mum bush. It includes a block of floral foam. It includes an 8-inch redstone ribbed pot. Beautiful pot.
Heavy pot.
Very heavy. It includes the Fall Harvest Pick with Pumpkin and the Harvest Season Bow.
Okay.
Optional add-on is some Spanish moss, depending on where you're putting it, but it is linked in the product description, and all of the components used are always linked in the product description of the kit.
Yes, and if you order the Spanish moss bag, it will come looking like this. This is the bag available. It has probably about double what I'm holding here, so you'd have a little extra for future use. We also have other types of moss available. All of those in stock in the warehouse. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is cut our foam to size. Now basically I just grab a kitchen knife, and what you can do with this block of foam is use it sideways. We don't need the foam to be level with the top of the pot. In fact, when using a larger bush like this with a stem, we don't want to cut this stem off. That's too much work. And if you have your foam placed lower in the pot, you will not have to fight with the stem, and you'll be able to insert it more easily. So here is our mark. We could see if we held it over our pot how wide we could maximize and cut that to fill. So I have pre-cut, and it's going to go down into the pot like this. Now you don't have to glue it. I'm going to dab a little bit of glue on here. This glue is off camera. It's my pan glue. And if we do some glue on the corners, when I press it down in, it will stay. And that I used, again, sideways into the pot so that it's lower in the pot, fits better, and becomes just the right amount of height. So you'll have a little extra foam. You really don't need to put it in the pot, even though there's a small gap there. Next, you're going to place your mum smack dab in the middle. So you might have to work a bit, and if it gives you grief because of the thick stem, you can again use your knife and twist it to make a better hole for it to go down into. Those are some tricks of the trade. And then when I press this into the block, it's actually almost, it feels like it's going to the bottom of the pot. So that is how far we've dropped it in, all the way to the bottom. And then you have just a comfortable amount of space, which is making this look like a garden mum from the garden center. At this point, I'd get our moss in there. So we can open that up and spread it around. This is an outdoor item, by the way. If you didn't realize, these things can go outside. This one has a different kind of stem construction, and that allows it to go outside. It's nylon cording holding all these components together instead of paper. So even if it got wet, that would hold up. This one you could put a dot of glue on. I'll just dip the stem, and we're going to place this into the foam so that the pumpkin rests on the pot there. And we can fan out the components a little bit. It's just giving us a focal point in the front rather than the empty planter. So I'm kind of sweeping it over to the side, moving the eucalyptus around, and then the bow is going to sit right above the pumpkin. So this gives us a little leafy focal point at the front and fills the space. Make sure you can see that. We can shape it after we get our bow in there. So your bow is going to come with nice heavy gauge wire. I'm just going to even up the lengths of the wire, and I'm going to twist them together. It makes a nice sturdy pick because these bows are made with 18 gauge wire. and that will allow me to push that into the foam without it collapsing because of the thickness, the weight of the wire. So then our bow sort of sits as a companion to the pumpkin, and you just kind of work it around and through your spray. So they just work together to fill the front of the pot. The bow does the work for you. You don't have to tie a bow. Don't we love that, not having to tie bows? And if you get this placed in the front, then you have that nice little accent that makes it feel like a garden center item. Beautiful little gift, outdoor safe. You can always tweak these ideas and make them your own, but as the kit goes, I'm just giving you guidance on creating the components that we've sent along with it. Some of the other things that you could add would be our fun little metal outdoor plant stems. There's a couple pumpkin and sunflower plant stems that would work for this as add-ons to fill in and add a little something something on the top, as well as the copper pumpkin plant stems. So there we have it, the fun little mum for outdoor use.
Love it. I saw someone said, who was it? Oh, Ruth said, I can do that one. Oh, well.
We should have started with this one. It's less intimidating than the other two.
Yeah, well, and you know, I think it's fun too. We have a lot of different levels of complexity of kits, so you can really pick something that is easy or hard depending on what your confidence level is.
Yes.
We have lots of different ones. So I thought what we would do next is do a big porch pot that coordinates with this little step sitter, and that would maybe help just kind of balance out
show you the
some
components
ideas.
here.
Because at my house I have a big porch pot and then I have 2 step sitter porch pots, and I think a lot of you do the same thing where you have, you know, a large one or 2 large ones and a little one, something like that. Terry said, it's so pretty, I have those mums. Tina is loving that one. Cindy said, so pretty. Susie's loving it. Randma, good morning. That pot was an 8-inch pot, and it is a little redstone pot.
It is in the online store, sold separately.
Thing apart.
Yes. In fact, on any of these components, if you just want, oh my gosh, I can't even get that out of there. If you just want components, you can click on the product that you like in the lineup. So each product has a listing of the components. All of them are hyperlinked to where they're found on our website. I think I'll just have to make a new one over here is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
And when you get to that place of the product and click through, you could, for instance, just go straight to the single sunflower item, if that's what you want, or the mum. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so Kayla has linked everything, and that probably takes as much as time as making the actual kit, but it's definitely important so you guys can find all the components that you love. Super important to have all that stuff. They are loving it. Okay, so the next one that we're going to do is going to coordinate with your little step sitter.
Get organized here. There's a lot of components.
A lot of stuff happening here. So let me pull up my kit page too and find it. What are we thinking so far? We're not overwhelmed yet, I hope.
This one will be a little trickier, but we'll break it down for you.
See, I find porch pots easier.
Porch pots are easier. Okay, the other thing to note about porch pots is that, all of these kits are sold without the planter. And that is because we learned from conversations with you that many of you use these kits to put right into your dirt planters from summer. So all of these components with their stems and their outdoor safe properties can become outdoor planters that just go right into the planter of dirt, press the stems in there, call it done, and you would not need a pot or foam. So that is why the container is suggested. And 2 blocks of foam are suggested, so we're going to leave those out of the picture.
Yep.
And take this photo.
Components on the table. There's a lot of stuff here. Let me make sure that turned out. I'm so toady this morning.
Need more coffee and tea.
More coffee. Yeah, I'm going to go top off my tea here when you get started. Do you need anything? You're good?
I'm good.
Okay, I think we're ready to go. Are you guys ready to go? We're
okay.
ready. Okay, next video, here we go.
So we're going to demonstrate not only how to put these in the planter, to create your outdoor porch pot, but also put the foam in a planter for you.
Yes.
These components could all be potted directly in your outdoor plant pots full of dirt. That is why this is a suggested item that you would purchase additionally. And if you don't need it, you don't have to, it's not included in the kit.
So this is the Sunflower Field Porch Pot Kit. This is a stem bundle that you can either put directly into your dirt at home, or in the product description is linked the pot and floral foam, so you can make a freestanding design depending on where you're putting it. In this kit is not included the pot and 2 blocks of foam.
So what we're going to do is remember to come back and take that tag off.
Oh, because you're using it. Sure.
I have given you a notebook, so please make a note. And we're going to use our planter here, and I have just glued 2 blocks of foam together. They almost fit, but you have to take off the corners to make it fit better. So here is what it's trying to do. Doesn't quite go in. Just need to lose the corners on our planter a little bit. So we're going to take a steak knife from the kitchen or whatever you use, and we're going to take off a couple of the edges, just creating little hexed off edges here. Now it's going to fit, and it's going to fit nice and snug, but it doesn't fill the pot all the way. So I use a couple of pieces of scrap foam. Now this could be white styrofoam that comes in anything that is delivered to your house in mail order, any kind of packaging. We happen to have a window coverings company, so we get lots of extra window coverings packaging. And I'm going to need to build up the bottom about 5 inches perhaps, because the height of this foam is 4. So I'm just checking it, and it's going to be a nice snug fit. The other thing that's happening here is I'm always shipping items without any weight. And if you were to do this at home, at this point, you might want to drop in some gravel or some sand and get your weight in the pot so that it's ready to go and be outdoor safe so that it doesn't blow over for you. So now we have a nice base. We've got our foam that's going to fit down just about. There we go. That's better. And we've got our buildup. So we could sell you another block or 2 of foam for the bottom, but to save money, you don't need the base foam to be the high-end foam. You need that to just be something the stems push into. But the top foam here, being our better quality fine styrofoam, will ensure that your stems stay put without glue. So that is what we've done now. We've glued our stack. We've glued our 2 bricks together, and that's a little bit of prep work, but that's broken down very specifically so that you understand how we create the base for a planter if you're doing it completely in your own pot without dirt. Okay, now that we've got that in,
yes, so that is the optional add-on of the metal planter and the 2 blocks of foam. But let's talk about the kit. So the kit is a stem bundle, and if you did not want to put this in a pot, you can stick these right in the dirt at home. So the Sunflower Field Porch Pot Kit includes 3 yellow sunflower sprays, pretty big.
Right over here.
The Moss Narrow Fern Cluster, gorgeous stem, I love that one. The all-time favorite Japanese maple leaf vine, a gold mum bush, some dark green peperomia bush, a mini maple leaf spray, not quite mini, it's big.
It's very large.
Cow parsley spray, and a dark blue mini berry spray.
Nearly black.
Yep, and this kit's regular price is $181.
A lot of components for you. So if you're putting them directly in your dirt planter, or if you're putting them in the planter that I just created, start with the tallest items first and just kind of create an outline, and you can always fill in. The other thing to note about placement of your tall items is that many people, they're inclined to put your tall stem smack dab in the middle of the pot, but when you do, you build your planter to become front heavy. So we need our planter to be, our first stem as the height to be placed towards the back, because the designs we create for outdoor use are assuming your planter sits against the wall of the garage or the house, and that it needs to be more or less 2/3 of the way designed and have a back side to it. So I have placed this stem with some glue towards the back of the planter. There you can see the deliberate placement. We also have another tall component here, and I still am gluing as I go for the security of outdoor design. I'm going to just stack my fern in front with that, so that's going to give us some nice height. We also have a tall cow parsley stem. This stem has been cut off a little bit. It's a taller stem as well. There we go. And you really do want to press those into the foam a little bit to ensure that they're going to stand up well in the wind. Almost everybody probably encounters some good wind for their outdoor products, and you need to have those secure. We also have a nice tall berry stem, which is essentially a plastic stem, so he's going to do fine outside too. It likes to flare open, and that's great because if we stack in front here, now we've filled in the top of our pot pretty nicely. We have a good blend of different interesting items fanning out at the top of the planter. Let's work our way towards the front and get some of these other components. Let's place this mum so that we can figure out where all of our sunflowers go. So the mum is going to go in the front, but it needs to share the space with the big Japanese maple. So basically, left and right here, you're going to want these two chunky stems to be on either side of the center point. And that will help the Japanese maple tuck underneath the mum a little bit. So let's show how that can be done. And you can cut this big bush apart, but I did it here in order to show you that we can pull it and shape it to take up some space over to the side. I can take this longer piece and fan it over to one side. And you can take the longest stem, because there's a nice staggered set of stems on this bush. You can take the longest stem here and pull it back up for height. Let's see if I can show you. So it's all about shaping. And if you find it frustrating to get it to shape where you want, some of these longer stems, just trim them off and reposition them where you want them to go. We glue everything in the warehouse for shipping purposes. We're always gluing to ensure that things travel well and don't shift. But at your house, you probably don't need to glue. You can just press these things into the dirt or pop them into the foam, and once you do a pretty good stem insertion, it will stay put. Also, you want to shape your maple quite a bit. Okay, we're going to put our peperonia in the back, so that's an easy one. It's a pretty chunky bush. It's a dark color. It is just meant for filler, especially helpful when the filler is when your planter's dirt. You do need, it seems, definitely to have some good amounts of filler stems in a planter of dirt, because your planter could be wider than this 10-inch pot. And if you find you have too much space in the back, grab another maple bush or another type of fall bush and create a little bit more filler. Have that handy. Okay, next up, let's place these 3 sunflowers. Now I've staggered them in height a little bit. I let 2 of them be their original height, and then I cut one a little bit shorter. So for the design, let's put the tallest couple up above. So we're going to place them, try to just get 3 pieces staggered up behind your mum. There's number 1. Number 2, I could cut it, or I can just press it in a little bit deeper. That's what I will do next. Dropping it down a hair. And then number 3, where does he need to go? He's going to sprout, I don't know how I photographed it, but he's going to sprout right above the mum here.
That's helpful.
Oh yeah, I did do that. Okay, thank you. Once I disassemble it, then I have to remember what I did.
That's why I always laugh when someone says, like, what's the measurement? I'm like, I don't know, it depends on how you make it, because we do it different every time, even when we do it.
That's true. Yes.
Everything's just a little bit different, but that is the fun part of a handmade floral design.
That's right. It's going to be your own component. So I am going to take this tallest guy and glue him in the back because I am gluing. If you are pressing things into the dirt, you're just going to have to fight with him until he goes where you want him to go.
Or you could wire him to a stake or
yes, good idea.
A stem to make it longer so that way it's a bit more secure if you're not gluing.
Okay.
Wow.
A lot of color.
That is the Sunflower Field Porch Pot Kit. Again, you get all the stem components. So you can either put the stems directly in your dirt at home, or we have linked in the product description the optional foam and metal porch pot. So that way you can create it in a standalone piece. That's what I do at my house, and at the end of the season I just bag it up and put it in my basement. So
there we go.
Beautiful kit. Okay, that one's really big. Let's get a rough measurement for them so they kind of know how big yours turned out.
Okay. It is about 26 inches, 24 inches wide, and about 38 inches tall. Mm-hmm. And it does have a lot of space. If your pot's a bigger diameter than 10 inches, you probably would either want to disassemble some of your Japanese maple to spread it around the back, or get another Japanese maple or another type of fall leaf, which we will have more of soon depending when you're watching this video.
I'm curious in the comments, how many of you, this is, if anyone, is this your first DIY weekend that you've ever watched? Do you have questions about what on earth is DIY weekend? Why does it have its own thing? What is a kit? That is all valid and common questions. But I'm just curious. I know we have a lot of people who have done this before, who've watched before, who have watched us for years and years. When did we start DIY weekend?
Maybe 2 years ago.
Maybe 2, yeah.
It's just evolving all the time over here at Magnolia's. You never know.
It really does, yeah.
Now we're going to do an easy drop-in, the Golden Dreams drop-in.
Yes, I figured we would tone the complexity back a little bit. Good morning, Sharon. Lana, beautiful porch pot, she said. Oh yeah, Grandma's mentioning we used to have on our last location, we used to have big wreaths on the front windows, and they would go blowing off and Sherwin-Williams.
That's true.
I remember that. Yeah, we don't do that anymore. Mostly because that would be rolling downtown. It's
yes.
probably not the safest.
It is. We do like to put things outside, though, and decorate in front of our store. I'm sure you can imagine how showy that is downtown to have flowers outside. Yeah. Okay, looks like I lost
Lois,
a couple.
This is her first DIY weekend. Exciting.
Hi, Lois. Welcome to the DIY day. I think a lot of you will not hang in for the entire day because it's a lot. But if you're watching it in replay, that'll be fun for you.
Yeah, and if you have questions as we go along, do drop them in the comments. When she's in the middle of making a kit, I don't respond to comments over chat right away, but I will get back to them, I promise.
Yes. So these are the components that are included.
Okay.
And
are we ready for the next one?
The wire is suggested.
Yep. Okay. I'll read all the components off and everything, and we'll get going. Okay. Ready to go? Mm-hmm. So this is the Golden Dreams drop-in kit. This kit is a regular price of $53. And included in this kit is the green lacewing leaf spray, rust eucalyptus bundle, a brown leather leaf spray, a gold black-eyed Susan, and 2 berry wheat sprays. Optional add-on linked in the product description if you need it is some wire, some bendy vine, and the brown Kendall vase. So those are optional but not included in the main kit, but they're linked if you need them.
Here's bendy vine. It's sold in a big bundle, And there's multiple stems, like about 20 stems in a bundle for a little over $20, which we use across multiple designs, and it is a very fun functional item. Okay, to get started, our vase that we're designing in today could be something different at your home. This is an 8-inch tall vase with a 4-inch diameter opening. Just for frame of reference, it's on the smaller side for our drop-ins, and we'll be making some larger ones today as well.
Forgot the component photo. There we go.
I can move out of the way.
Nope, you're fine.
Okay, this is going to be the starting point. Our little eucalyptus bundle is a shorty bundle, so that's kind of why we went with a shorter base today, as well as these components, which are also short stemmed, and that's the full length. The bundle here is 3 stems. I'm going to let them be wired together, or they're banded together, and I'm not going to take those apart. You can if you would want to. Then we have our fun little mixed stem here that adds a lot of character. We're going to use 2 of those as the base, so you do want to open them up and give them a little bit of shape, and we're going to use those blended into the eucalyptus, literally by trying to poke them in and through the eucalyptus a little bit. It already starts to look like a design, just with those 3 components. So you can see everything here is wired. You can fan it out or keep it upright depending on what looks good to you. And of course we'll be shaping as we go. Next we're going to put in this larger leaf item that has been cut off. I think I removed maybe 4 inches of it, depending on your vase. This design could be suspended in a taller vase. Your short stems wouldn't make it all the way to the bottom, but they would be wired to your taller stems, so it would all work out just fine. If you chose to use a taller vase, that would work also. So we will sort of wiggle this large leaf item through our other stems, blending it as we go. And then our lace wing has been cut off. I probably removed a 4-inch chunk from the bottom. This is up to you how tall you want this to be. I'm going to drop it into the bottom of the vase like this. It's touching. I have cut some length off. It's a pretty tall stem, and you can cut it off so that the bottom 2 pieces, since it's a 3-part component, they are nearly at the rim of the vase. That's probably all. The shorter I would cut them off unless you cut the top piece apart. Then this is an entire stem of the little black-eyed Susans. I've removed some stem length of this one. We are going to just wiggle that down the middle again. Everything currently is just being stacked in the vase, and then I'm going to go back and pick up the whole set of stems and add the wire and the bendy vine to it. And because the Susan here and the lace wing are sharing the center, I'm actually working them around each other, around and through each other a little bit. There we go. That works just fine, and we've gotten quite a bit of height out of this design as well. So I do have the wire as a suggested item. I actually tape a little floral tape over the top of my 22 gauge wire. Our wires are sold in bundles of 5. You can grab a bundle if you don't have some nice floral wire. We do not sell the tape, so that's something you would pick from your floral wholesale area or craft shop. Now I'm pulling this bundle out of my vase, and when I do, I don't want to place my wire directly where the rim of the vase is. I want it to drop down a little bit below. And the reason is that if you wire it too high, it pulls all the stems together and makes them look more tightly arranged and upright. And we want to allow them to flare over as they have been. So you have to place your wire a little bit lower. I always use a pliers to tighten that down, because if you finger tighten them, it really won't be tight. And then I drop down a little bit lower and make a couple wraps about 1 inch below my first one, just with the same piece of wire. So I make 1 band, and then I drop down a little lower and make another band of wire, because that keeps your stems from twisting out of a single wired location, which will happen. 1 wire, they still will twist around each other. You'll know what I mean if you inspect that close. And that design just will be secured for all intents and purposes at our store. We always do the last step of adding a little vine to it. It makes it look pretty if this is going to maybe go in a clear vase, but it also can be functional in that if you get a nice long piece, and we usually have extra length on this, the wire in this bendy vine can become a little support for your design also. If I loosely loop it and then tuck that into the vase, you will see it stabilizes everything. So it just becomes a little bit of a wedge or a ligature to keep it from flopping around and makes it nice and secure in your vase also. So it serves two purposes, and it's a nice little addition to have around, a little extra piece of bendy wire.
Cute drop-in kit.
I love this
Love
vase.
the leather leaf, Kelly says. Nice on a kitchen island or in a bathroom. Dawn says, I have a hard time keeping the shape when I wire a bundle. Do you have any
Yes,
tips?
and hopefully that tip that I just shared about placing your wire below the rim. This wire is about 2 inches below the rim of the vase. When you wire too high, it pulls your stems close and destroys the shape of your drop-in.
Makes it really compact.
Yes, so if you want to continue to allow the stems to flare out and not be forced upright, then you just need to place your wire lower, and that is my little Floral Pro tip there.
Also, if you are not putting it away every season and maybe it's an everyday design or something, you don't have to wire it. I wire all my pieces because I am pulling them out of the vase, storing them for next season, that kind of thing. So that's just an
But you don't
idea
have
for
to.
you.
That's a good point.
Rough measurements,
Sure.
if we can, always helps.
That is about 14 by about 25 inches tall in this
Fantastic.
design.
Okay, any questions on DIY kits? How are we doing? You got your coffee? Do you have maybe some breakfast? I had half of a sad microwavable biscuit sandwich this morning. That's breakfast.
That is sad.
And a big cup of coffee.
Meanwhile, down the street is the gorgeous farmer's market food, which we are not
Yeah, I
getting.
wasn't there early enough. Marcia said, do you have a blue stem suggestion that you could add? I always like the blue
Oh,
berry.
yeah. A berry would be nice. There is a ranunculus. It's quite chunky.
Depends on what color of blue, but this could be fun. It would be brighter, but this is a new blue, what is that thing called? Light blue pom-pom bundle.
That would
But
be...
if you wanted a bright blue in
Sure.
it, that could be.
If you want a navy blue, probably that navy blue stem up on the top would look good. Here's
as
that.
far as a little brightness, or if you wanted to go more moody.
This is a new blueberry that's deeper colored. That would look good.
Yeah, very fun. Beautiful vase arrangement. Loving the colors, Joni said. Really like this. Very pretty, says Susie. Hello, Renee. Lots of gardening, canning, berries galore. She's been busy.
Oh, berries, nice.
Yep,
Okay.
everything looks great as always. Dawn's getting kitty snuggles and drinking coffee. Oh, my cat was cuddling with us this morning, and I did not want to get out of bed. She was very
Yes.
cozy and was
She was
very
happy.
mad at me when I got up. Black-eyed Susans look so real, Luann said.
They are very nice looking ones, and I don't know how long they're going to last, so grab yours now.
Yep. Okay, I'm going to pull this kit up. Is this the Hidden Pumpkins? What does it say? Large tray.
I do need a tray when I get this done.
Is it this one?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I see. They placed it in the white tray. I was looking for the brown one, but
Which brown tray?
makes
This
no
basket?
difference. Let's get started.
Yep, that's fine.
Sure.
Grab the trays here, and then I will start the YouTube video.
Okay, and we'll go through the components here.
Okay, we ready for the next one? Oh my gosh, we're breezing through it. Here we go. This is the Hidden Pumpkins Large Tray Swag Kit with a regular price of $56. This kit does include some floral wire, 2 pumpkin sunflower maple picks, 2 mini berry twig sprays. I think it's that one. 2 blooming bittersweet sprays, and the mossy vine.
Which is quite long, actually. There it is in half. Do you need a picture of laying this
Oh,
out?
yes. I just realized Kayla didn't link the vine, so I'm going to link that quick. Okay.
Okay, so this is going to be a tray piece.
You know what, Mom? The vine's not on here. Do you
vine's
have
not on
a
there?
tag for it? Yeah, I don't think it was included in the price.
Oh dear.
I'll look it up.
Kelsey helped me with this one, so maybe we
Yeah,
lost
I
it.
think we missed a component in this one, so it might come out a little bit more. 'Cause
Okay,
I'm guessing
she's-
everyone's going to want that.
You need the
gorgeous
vine, so I don't know if there is.
I'll look
if
it
we
up.
had a little glitch, we're fixing it now.
Yep.
The thing about the vine is you can see how wild and wingy it is. You have to wrestle it into submission and make a loop or two. I think we're going to make 2 loops here is what we did. So your vine is going to come in a long strand. You have to create the loops. It's not going to be pre-looped for you. And you can, based on what you're going to use this for, either do a double loop like so to keep the design a little bit shorter, and even so it's quite long. Or if you want it to trail longer, you could just make a single loop and maybe increase the size and put it in the center so that you have a longer piece. But we're going to stick with the photo design, which was created as a double loop. It's not hard to get this to form into 2 circles, and you aim for the middle. But it all is wild and weedy, so it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to get the wire in place here. So your kit does come with wire. You can use your wire bare. The 22 gauge wire is just right for manipulating well. Or I have taped over my wire with a brown floral tape, and that's a little bit of a trick. You can do that step to help it grab better. It's just a bit of a pro tip.
So with that moss bendy vine, which is like needed.
Yes.
The price comes out to a sale price of $64.60.
That sounds better. Okay, so that's the base structure. 2 loops, a 1 wire holding it together, and then we're going to add in the extra length and color. So our bittersweet stems, we're doing 1 each direction. And I am going to lose a little bit of the stem length. We don't need much stem length on them, so I'm going to cut them down so there's only about 8 inches of stem left. And we're going to lay that into the design by kind of placing the bittersweet on top of the trailing vine here and next to or slightly under the circles. Here's this one. Here goes this one. And you want to be able to pull the bittersweet all the way in so that the sections start fanning out right after the circle, meaning I've pushed it in far enough that the base of the first bittersweet is right at the circle location too. We don't want it sticking out too far and too long. Shove it in there a little closer to the circle so it's all becoming a good design that is connected. Still holding it, we're going to wire it last, and we're also going to shape all these little wingies last. So don't worry about where they want to go right now. They will be forced to go where you want them later. These little guys get cut off a bit too. They are a shorter stem, but we're going to stack those, and we're just sliding the stems underneath the circle at this point, and we're pulling this berry spray again up tight into the design so it's not too far extended out. One goes one way, one goes the other way, pretty easy. This is just going to be a fun table centerpiece or a tray filler, which is kind of how I envision it to be, more of a tray filler. And there'll be plenty of spaces to pair it with other pumpkins too, even though now we can lay in our pumpkin sprays. This is fun because you get a sunflower and a pumpkin and colorful leaves, so the whole thing just needs to be placed so that your pumpkin and sunflower comes into the circle, partially at least. You need to fill that center in, and one going each direction. So it becomes pretty easy once you know the drill. A left and a right piece, you're gathering them together towards the middle. Our sunflowers end up at the center. Our pumpkins are fanning out at the base of the circle. It's working out pretty easily. And then all you have to do is get some wire on there to hold it all together. Balances out well. Got lots of wild and weediness. I know you guys like wild and weediness. My taped wires need to go in the back in 2 locations. So you can see these stems really are sticking out over here. You're going to want to hit the middle. Maybe we should say 3 locations for wire. Hit the middle for starters so you don't drop the whole thing. So put 1 wire there. And then probably put a extra wire a couple inches each side of the center 2.5 inches maybe each direction of the center. I also always use the pliers to wire to ensure that stems are secure and tight. I always feel single twisting by hand does not get you a tight enough wired location. You always want to use the pliers to get it good and tight. So now we're going a little farther out here. This is meant to lay, not to hang. I think if you were to try to hang it, these loops would need to be repositioned upright. So if that's something you'd like to do, that would be a modifiable suggestion. And at this point, when you're wiring it together, you would then want to create the hanger to hang it horizontally. And you'd want to reposition your loops to lay flat onto the wall instead of sticking straight out. But we're going to market this one as a table piece, so I'm just using the wire to secure it. So here we have the center wire, you can't see it very well, the side wire, and now I'm over to the other side going through the moss vine, going across all of my stems. I need a longer piece of wire, and that is my third wire location. I also can see a few stems in the back that now to me are looking too long, so I'd probably trim them off at this point. Unless they're hiding in your design, then don't worry about it. Those stems are sturdy, so it takes a little bit of extra elbow grease to get that wire in there nicely. Looks good to me, a little bit shorter. I just don't want it sticking out into the line of sight at the ends. So I'm trimming off a couple of stems that are showing. You just don't know how they're going to stick out till the end, and that's fine to do that last trimming then. Here's the back close up. So you can see how it looks nice and tidy. It gives you a pretty good base. And then once you get the wire in, you'll have to rearrange what you've done. And we're going to try this out on a tray with some pumpkins, perhaps. If you want to add me some extra pumpkins from that little area. So you're going to arrange and shape this, whatever looks good to your eye. You could take some of these little wingy pieces and twist them back into the circle if you don't want them sticking out. That would look nice. You could pull some of your bittersweet upright towards the circle and give it some curve into the circle. That would work also. And you can actually use the moss to secure things. The moss vines can help to wrap things in place. So here I can grab a little tendril of the moss to secure my bittersweet to go upright in a couple of spots. As much as you want to fuss with it is up to you, but the general idea and the construction technique is pretty easy overall. It just again becomes a lot about the shaping and what looks good to your eye and how you like to see that finish result. But the structure is there. So all of the shaping is up to you, but we're going to lay it on a tray and see what you think here. This tray is a great option because it is skinny and long. A white woven tray. This is a tray at home if you have something similar. This is a 30-inch tray. If you don't have anything that big and it sticks off the edge of a tray, that looks good too. All right, let's show it and then show it with a few extra pumpkins. Look at that. It makes a really fun table centerpiece. I don't think it photographed as well on the online photo as it did in person here. Let's try this little cream pumpkin with the vine and add those in just to see if you can fill a little bit more around the tray. So you might have some extra pumpkins at home. Or this one is called the growing pumpkin on a vine, and he fits in this tray. The wider your tray is, the more likely you'll have good space for pumpkins to sit. These two fit nicely in there and pull a little bit more white color in, or you could add another orange one in there. It holds more pumpkins than just the two that came with the design, and it fills in nicely. The nice wild weedy look is what really appeals to a lot of people. Hopefully that appeals to you as well.
Beautiful. The Hidden Pumpkins large tray swag kit, $76.
Do you want to take another photo of it?
Yeah, I'll
like
snap
this?
another photo. So yes, that moss thing was not in the bundle. So
at first?
yeah, so I added it. But if you purchased the bundle earlier, I know Janet said she bought it. We will
you're
need
going
make
to
sure.
need that.
Luckily, it's on sale today. It wasn't like it was included in the price and you wouldn't get it. It just wasn't included in the price or anything.
Right.
So
it's a mistake altogether on that one.
well, it just wasn't. The tag must have fallen off. This photos don't look good. There's too much chaos going on back here.
Do you want me to hold it?
No, there's too much behind you.
Yes, there's a lot going on. By the way, if you're joining late, everything behind me will be designing in the afternoon session. And we will be going right now through designs until
10:15.
Noon Central. 11? Oh,
Yeah.
I said
2
it
hours.
wrong multiple times.
I know you have been. You've been saying it wrong every time.
I thought I was going for 3 hours for starters.
No, we've never done 3 hours. That's too long.
I have done it before.
We go 2 hour increments, so 9 to 11,
Okay.
noon to 2. We're doing only 2 sessions today, which I didn't realize, but yeah. Is that the small or medium tray?
That is, I want to say the medium. It's definitely not the small because here's the small one. It could be the large though. Could be
There's
the
not even a
large.
tag on it.
It's the 33-inch tray.
Yeah, no, I dropped a link to it. But yeah, this one actually doesn't even have a tag. I'll have to write it on the list.
And we're going to need to take this off the bottom.
Yeah.
Maybe it's going. I got it.
It might have been off, but I just didn't. Well, yeah. Anywho, Jan says, gorgeous, beautiful tray. Love the loop design. So cute. Reminds me of Cinderella's carriage.
Oh.
That's cute.
That's fun.
Susan had a question. I have 2 porch pots. Should I make arrangements alike or different? I think totally personal preference. Truly.
That's true. We've done it both ways. If you're a matchy-matchy person, you're going to want them to match.
Yep. Dana, I don't think we have any designs with the blue magnolia today, do we?
We don't.
No, we don't. I don't know if we have enough of that one to do it.
But I could show it with a drop-in.
Okay. Cool design. Love it, love it. Okay, so I thought we would stick with the same color family, speaking of porch pots, and do the step sitter kit, and the optional is the bows. So everything else is included.
Okay.
Okay?
So this actually includes a bag of Spanish moss.
Yes, natural.
Here's your picture.
And thing. Yep, let me stop the photo, thank you. That's a lot of goodies. Okay, ready, Freddie?
This is going to look just like a planter you picked up from the garden center.
This is the Happy Harvest Step Sitter Kit, regular price of $177. And this kit includes everything you see here, including the Caspian oval pot, 2 blocks of floral foam, high quality floral foam, a bag of natural Spanish moss, the favorite rust orange mumbush and gold mumbush, the gold wheat bush, that's a favorite around here, and the dark blue foliage seed bush. Optional add-on are some bows. We'll show you an option here. And again, this kit, the Happy Harvest Step Sitter Kit, is $177. This is outdoor safe, by the way.
All of these things, yes. If there are any of these components that you want to purchase just to use in your outdoor planters of dirt, check out the links in the product description, which will take you to each product individually. So the first thing we're going to do is prep our pot by gluing our foam in. And this you can use glue gun, you can use pan glue, whatever works at your house. This is 2 blocks of foam glued together already, so I can start using them. The glue is just a little bit down the middle. You don't need much, and you don't want to put a lot in because it can sometimes get in the way. Then we're going to put the glue on the bottom of the double set of bricks and just pop it into the planter. It's not designed to fill the planter, but you don't need to have solid foam end to end in the planter for this purpose. So it would be overkill to include more. You just won't need it. In this case, we need enough so that we can get the 2 mum bushes in place, a left and a right one. So at our studio here, we always have these steak knives that we use to cut foam. They also work well, like if I just pre-plan where these 2 mums want to go. by pressing them in, I can take my steak knife and just sort of twist the hole a little bit bigger to help you not have to wrestle that large stem into the foam. And then it is probably not necessary to glue it when you put it in, but for the purpose of our how we design, we're gluing everything, so I'm just going to go ahead and glue it. And that way it starts looking like it's been planted in this oval planter at the garden center. You're going to fool your neighbors with this one. Doesn't that look beautiful just to start with? Two big showy mums paired together as a double basket, which definitely is a garden center thing. And this one you'll use for multiple years, not just one season. So that's the beauty of it. Okay, we're going to do this design next by getting our berries and our wheat. How did I position those? Did I put my wheat in the middle, Kate, or did I put the... We're going to check my photo. Oh, I fanned them out together. Okay, got it. And then this one here. So I think the bow that it was photographed is a bow that we have to sold out.
Yeah, you guys bought so many bows. So many bows. It was crazy. So we'll definitely work on making more bows. Someone said you could have a full-time bow maker.
I could have a full-time bow. I have Mary, but we didn't get her going fast enough on these bows. Okay, and then we're placing the wheat and the berries together in the middle of the pot, somewhat towards the back, assuming there's a front and a back here. If you want it to be all the way around, then you would hit the middle directly. And then it's up to you how much you want to fan that through. I didn't bring it through too much. It kind of looks nice sprouting out the center, to be honest. That is up to you, though. That's the beauty of DIY, is you're going to create it so that it looks good to your eye. And you know what? Don't second guess yourself. You know exactly how you like it. That is looking good. Now we just need to add in some moss. So we have, I'm not going to open our bag of moss, but you will, and you'll be able to use all or most of that moss. I've got some here under my counter, and you can fluff it up a little bit. Usually it needs to be spread out. You don't have to use it solid. And then tuck some of that around. Now this is assuming you want to hide the foam a little bit, because it does show. Maybe it doesn't bother you and you don't need to put the moss in, but I think it, in this case, the height of the mums create a little open area, which is how they would look naturally. So we're just going to fill that in with some good looking moss there. Next up, you could decide on a bow if you want one. So here it is without a bow.
And that is all the kit components right there.
Maybe you should photograph this again without a bow, unless she did.
I don't know, but I can snap one.
And then I'm going to try a couple different bows. We should have this one linked. And let me grab another option. As well.
I like the duo of the mum bushes.
So we've got a bow here that you could add titled the pumpkin picking maybe. This one has a little bit of navy and pumpkins and jute, which brings it all together. I think that's the idea. You just want to bring the colors together. Or we also have another one with blue that is called the fall foliage bow, and this has a burlap background and also brings the colors together. Let's go with this first one. I like the navy for sure. And the wires on the bows are heavy 18 gauge wire, so you can literally use that as a pick. You don't need to wire it to anything else. Tuck it down underneath and shape your loops, and you'll have a finished result with the bow of your choice, or a bow you might make at home, depending on how you feel about bows. There we go. There we have it, Kate.
Love it. Beautiful piece. Okay. Yeah.
Nice
photos,
design.
I'm gonna not worry too much about taking photos.
They're just not coming out well.
No, they just don't look good. So I'm gonna let that one go.
It kind of is a lot going on today, so
There's
we're
a
just
lot
going
of
to keep
stuff
it
back
organized as best as possible.
By the way, the stuff behind Mom is what we're showing in part 2 this afternoon.
We also have all of our containers on sale today. There's a few vases worked in and plant pots in here because literally every vase and container is part of today's sale.
Yep,
So
I'll
you'll want to grab some for gifts, grab some for the holidays, grab some for your cabinets and your built-ins because there's lots of inexpensive decorative pieces that function beautifully empty as well when you're doing designs and displays like that. Okay, that one is done.
Okay, we're going to do a nice, easy drop-in showing in a wall basket. Do you also want a regular vase, maybe? Potentially.
Okay.
You can decide if you want to show it in both, but then they see both looks there. How are we feeling so far? Definitely the first half is a lot more fall color, and then the back half will be more of that plum situation and burgundies.
People do seem to love the burgundies this year. We've been selling out of burgundies, which is fun. Yeah. I mean, burgundy has definitely made its presence known in the design industry right now. Mm-hmm. So we're going to redo this design, separate out the components. We've got some fun fall components here.
And then when you start that, I will go grab the blue magnolia.
Okay.
Because we'll show some blue designs too. Beautiful, they say. Linda said, you remind me of a flight attendant as Kate is describing what's in the pot and you hold up each item.
Yes, put your mask on first before you put it on your child.
I love that flight attendant. If you saw that video, he said, and if you have several kids, well, I guess you have some decisions to make.
That I've not heard before.
Oh, it was so funny. I think it was like a flight, someone recorded this flight attendant doing the talk, and then he said they were flying to Vegas, and he said, if you're going for a family vacation, that's weird.
To Vegas. That is true. Who would take their kids to Vegas? But plenty of people do.
I mean, you took me to Vegas for market, but I mean, I was like, what?
You were 14.
14 maybe?
Yeah, and you saw some things.
I did. I saw some things that probably
that you can't unsee.
No, that's the problem with Vegas. You can't even walk in the street and be safe.
No, you cannot.
Chaos everywhere.
Okay, the components included, and then this is an option over here.
Yep, okay, let me snap a photo of the table, the little pile there. Got it? Okay. I think I'm ready. Let me double check here. The bow separate, wire separate, wall basket separate. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the Sunflower Dreams drop-in kit, regular price of $75. This kit is including the mini pomegranate spray, 2 rust sunflowers, the warm orange pom-pom spray, leaf pile mixed crabapple spray, and the dark blue mini berry. Optional add-ons include a bow idea, wire, and a wall basket. You can also place this in a vase.
And we'll show both the basket and the vase today, and we'll also show the bow in place. The bow is a fun one. It is in the online store, and Kate will share that with you. The title, we also have several new bows coming in too, so there might be another one that strikes your eye in our online store. So the first thing to do with our pick is to fan it open and shape it out. This one I've already shaped a little bit, but you've got a nice look if you just separate all the leaves, and we're going to work other items into it. So that's why we want to do that. Next, let's grab our blueberry stem, which does kind of have 3 sections to it. So if you separate those out and fan them out, they should wiggle right in to the center of your leaf spray. And we're leaving it up to the top, so they're both kind of lining up at the top there. Then let's place our pomegranate spray, which again has a 3-part section going on. And we're going to wiggle that in to the leaf spray. We're going to regroup them after we layer them. So don't worry that we're making a flat situation here. We're going to pull it back together in the end. This piece also kind of has 3 components for the pom-pom. Looks to me like we should raise that up a little bit in there. if I had them all at this height, some of these stems are cut off. So you can see if I pre-cut them where the heads are falling, if that helps you line it up later. That is a good look at the stem length. And then these do come short, so I didn't cut them off. They are shorter stems. And what you want to do is position your sunflowers so that they're just above the rim of your basket. So now it's kind of time to check our height. Now I could drop them in here and I could design it right in the basket, but I can see if I line it up that this sunflower is going to be falling into the basket. We need to lift them up a little bit while we're at it. Let's stagger them. So if we place our wire, even though they're not going to reach the bottom, we will be able to wire them in place and get them suspended in the right spot so that they don't drop into the basket. That looks about right. Double checking because that sunflower is going to hang over the front and look very nice. So the wire is suggested if you don't have floral wire. I'm using a 22 gauge wire we sell in bundles of 5 inexpensively. We're going to wire that around just below the berry sections. And I did a couple wraps here. Pull that tight, and then I use my pliers to secure it further. I do put tape over my floral wire. It's just a little pro tip, not a required step, and I used brown floral tape to wrap over the wire. It simply makes it nice and tacky. And we're also, we maybe didn't suggest, but I guess we don't need to. We can just tell you we use bendy vine often to make the stems look a little bit neater in the end and give you some support in your vase or your wall basket. So I've dropped my wire down about an inch, inch and a half to another point where I wrapped it around the stems again. So then my point of this is that you don't just want to place your wire in one location on the stems because your stems can still twist. If you do drop your wire an inch and a half lower, you won't be able to pull these stems and spin them apart. They will be secure. So bendy vine looks like this. It is a little wired twig that comes in a big chunk. Should probably get a big chunk to show. This one is just a single strand of wired twig looking product in brown green. We have a couple different colors available. And by wrapping this, what will happen is it will, in a vase, provide a little extra support and balance of the stems in the vase, or in this basket, when you tuck it in loosely, kind of like this, it will keep it from flopping around in the basket. It helps press against the sides of the basket and stabilize your design. So it becomes functional, or in a glass vase, it can be pretty, or in this wall pocket, you could loop it outside the wall pocket. So now that we've got it in there, you do just want to pull your stems back into position and reshape a little bit. So everything got fanned open. Now we need to pull some things back into the center. Let's see, this berry is hiding a bit back here, so I'm going to pop it into the center a little bit to bring the color in. I'm going to let my sunflower head fall forward, pull a couple of the leaves and the berries forward. This eucalyptus looks like it can drape, so a little shaping is in order depending on what looks good to you. And it doesn't take much to get it to look good. It's all sort of prearranging itself. Let's see how the bow would look in the wall basket, and then we'll also try it in a vase. So this bow was the, I forget the title of this bow. It has burgundy and a little bit of rust, so it's the perfect combination.
That is the Bushels of Fun bow.
There it is, okay. And if you add that, it just sort of finishes it off nicely and gives a lot of drape in front of your basket there. Get some nice finishing tails and some extra color in the front. Very cute. I love the mini ribbon trailing and draping. So that is an additional item that you would add. And then we'll try it in a vase to show you how it would look in a vase as well. This is the small Seiko vase, and I believe it's about a 14-inch vase. Here we can use our vine and even just swirl it around the neck of the vase to give some interest, because the neck of this vase is small, it doesn't need to go inside. But if you had a wider vase, it would help stabilize it also. So that's how it would look in a vase. It's one-sided, so keep that in mind, but that may not be a problem where it needs to go in your home.
Cute. That one's gorgeous.
I love the fall colors. It's super traditional. Definitely a showstopper from a distance with those sunflowers making their appearance.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty. 5 exclamation points, says Kathy.
Okay, well, we found one Kathy likes.
Beautiful. It is 10:30, FYI. We have quite a few more designs to get through. We will do a little bit more fall color next.
Okay.
And then we're going to get into some blues. And then in part 2 this afternoon, from 12 to 2, we're going to show burgundies behind Mom. So those pieces behind Mom will show off.
We'll be designing all those up after what time? I don't even know.
We take a break from 11 to noon, and we come back on at noon central.
Well, there we go.
Yep. Okay, just getting everything situated here.
This is going to be a fun wired design. Not hard at all, just a little wild and weedy.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I need a photo. Almost forgot. Got it. Okay. I'm ready. Ready, Freddie? This is the Whimsical Pumpkin Vertical Swag Kit, regular price of $61. And this kit is going to include the Wrap Twig Bendy Vine Spray. It's a unique cream ivory branch. It includes the Rustling Leaves Pumpkin Pick, the Bendy Bittersweet Branch, a new piece, and the Frolicking Berry Maple Leaf Pick. There's an optional add-on of a bow linked in the product description, and all of these components can be found at magnoliasne.com.
All right. Well, let's get started. This is going to be a vertical door swag, more or less, or a vertical wall swag. Your vine comes quite long, maybe 4 feet long or a little bit longer. And we're going to just create a loop at the top to give it a more tapered look. So it will go from full to thin in a teardrop shape. And basically we're just taking the end, bending it around into a circle. It's going to be wired together. Let's not make it hard. We'll go just straight next to it like so. Then we're going to layer on our wrap twig in the same design. It's going to also make a little circle following that one. And we're going to wire all those components together at one point. I need to just make all this line up. One goes on top of the other. I'm going to lay the wrap twig on top of the bittersweet. Okay, so the bittersweet stem and the wrap twig are kind of laying opposite directions. Let me just restack that for your reference one more time. This one's going that way, from here to here. And this one's going this way, where you do have to get some of the berry stems out of the way in order for these to stack together. But the goal is to stack your 2 circles together, and then where they come together, you're going to add your wire. Let's go ahead and wire that so it doesn't get away from you. At this point, you don't want to lose it. So we're going to grab those stems. This one's not going to make it into the wiring point, but it will get contained once we start twisting things together. Don't worry. So let me just get a wire to stabilize this. Basically, we're grabbing the wrap twig and we're grabbing the bendy vine end, but we aren't catching the wrap twig end. It's too high up. It will get caught later. Okay. That has made a teardrop shape to start with. So while they're on the table, you might be able to wrestle with it a little bit more easily. These guys have lots of tendrils and pieces, so we're going to pull them out of our way and then work them back in once we get our picks in place. So let's use the pumpkin pick at the top, and it will lay right next to the wire we put to hold the wrap twig. It's going to go into the circle and fill into the circle somewhat. You see how that circle still shows, but the pumpkin is filling inside there. There we go. Your video has stopped because your iPhone is full.
That's your phone.
Oh.
Your phone.
I've been doing all those videos for you. We need to delete them.
Oh my gosh.
Do you want me to start over?
No,
With a different
there's no
phone?
room.
With a different phone?
I can cut it from here. It's okay. We'll get it fixed.
And then our other berry spray is going to go underneath the pumpkin. So basically the two stems are going end to end. One's coming down from the top, one's coming up from the bottom. And the stems are just sort of hiding. If I work them in, they will be sliding to the back of the design. So one of the pumpkin stems is back here, one of them's back here. They're hiding pretty well in the back. Get a close look at that. Sorry, we should have deleted all those videos I've been taking of me baking bread. That's the problem.
Yeah, I can't quite. This phone doesn't airdrop right, so.
So once you get your two pumpkin picks together, you will then be able to take your wire over the top of them, grabbing them, grab the wire into the back, and the wires that you use to wire your pumpkin picks down are just going to become the piece that forms your hanger. Because I'm using two full-size wires covered in brown tape, which makes them tacky, only for the point of making them tacky. You don't have to use taped wires. I just like the finish of them. And I'm placing two of them about an inch apart on the back of the vine to capture all the stems, goes around all the stems. And together I can make them form a small circle hanger. You could, of course, just hang it from the loop. That works too. But if you want an actual hanger, that's where I would put it. And I would just take those two ends and twist them into a little circle in the back. That's how we do it. Not hard at all, depending what it needs to go on. If it's a nail, you can make a small circle. If it's a over the door hanger, you'll want a larger little circle. If you don't know, when in doubt, make it a little bit larger. I'll show you how that comes out looking here. Make sure it's tidy. And then I'm going to trim off a little bit of a pumpkin end. There we go. So there's a hanger. And you'll have to tell me which bow we suggested.
I think the bow we suggested might have sold out. It was the Bold and Bright. Do we have that one?
I'd have to see a picture.
Oh, I don't know. Do you have that?
Yes.
You do. Great.
We have a few bows over here. In fact, let me show you this bow stand that I made, which is kind of useful, but maybe not.
Oh, Vanda said this is her favorite so far.
If you like wild and twiggy looks, then let me show it without a bow, because that's also a great look. Basically, these loops up here, one of them's attached in a circle, one of them's still just shaped. So while it's just shaped, you simply grab something from the back side, whatever little branch is close enough, and weave it around the wrapped twig stem to secure it. I'll show you what I just did there. I just grabbed one of the bendy wires and locked it into place by twisting one of the bittersweets around that wrapped twig. They don't have to be connected all the way up. It had to go somewhere rather than cutting it off. And then the other thing I might have done was made some loops out of these. I don't remember if I did or didn't. But because these are all wrapped twigs, you can go without a bow and just take some of these little vines and loop them a bit more. I didn't really make much circle-y effects, but you can. There's a lot of pieces to play with here. So your options can include spiraling the ends like that, or pulling them down straight, or a combination of both. Spiral a couple, loop a couple, get your bendy vine under control. Your little bittersweet bendy vine is wild and crazy. It looks great, but you might want to circle it or bring it back into a shape of some sort. There you go. So no bow on here. If you like the look of natural with no extra frou-frou, that looks really good.
This is again the Whimsical Pumpkin Vertical Swag Kit. Beautiful piece.
And then the bow we had suggested is this one. There's a lot going on. Blue, orange, all kinds of color. This really jazzes it up. If you want to put this on your door and see a showy bow from the street, this bow would be your choice for bright, showy color. And I would put this under the pumpkin is where I would place it. And then you'd have to kind of weave your tails in there. Maybe you'll make your own bow. Maybe you'll choose, let's see, you could choose burgundy if you wanted to. Probably, is it helpful to show a couple bows in the design?
You know, we only have 15 minutes left in this session and quite a bit to do, so I'm going to have you move to the next design.
We're going to move on.
Yes.
From
Twiggy
there.
Indeed, she says, coming on late. Crazy storms in Lincoln last night. They don't have power.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
And this is the crisp falling leaves bow. Also looks nice. Okay. Well, I saw we had rain, but I didn't know there were storms.
Yeah, there was bad storms. 90 mile per hour wind. It
Oh,
said.
what? That's crazy.
Yeah.
80 is bad. 90 is unheard of.
Lincoln and Omaha seems to get worse weather than here.
Yes, Lincoln and Omaha sound dangerous to me.
Okay, I'm going to take this, put it to the side.
Oh, we're going to have a mess on the floor, but
So I'm
it's
just
working.
going to have to cut this Facebook Live like the good old days because
We don't have another. Well,
The
you
other
can
phone
you
doesn't
can
air-
you can delete the videos.
what videos? I'm not
Everything
gonna
you
go this
transferred.
far.
Everything you transferred. Just delete them. They're already backed up to Drive. I already have them.
All right, I don't want to delete the wrong thing.
So go ahead. No, it's okay. Anything recent with bread, you can delete.
Mom, do you know how many photos and videos you have on here? It's a little difficult.
Just the videos of bread are long. Okay, this is going to get sorted out. We have another fun porch pot for you today. Again, I'm just suggesting the pot because in our world of selling porch pots, sometimes the people who are buying are just buying the stems and components to place in a pot of dirt, and that is fine.
I don't even see the videos. You have so much stuff on here. I'm just not going to mess with it and do it my way.
And these things we're going to lay out like this so that we can get a good photo of all the components. So I've really got a nice variety, but you can see this rust and purple combo is kind of different and fun.
Okay, got it. Pulling this one up here, maybe.
Okay.
It looks like the foam and the pot are
Separate.
optional add-ons. This one. Okay, I'm locked and loaded. Ready?
Yes, we
This
are.
is the Giving Thanks Porch Pot Kit, a regular price of $158. This kit includes the rust sunflower bush, a brown branch spray, a dark green
That would
peperomia.
be this.
Yep, dark green peperomia. The golden autumnal lantern. Maybe. The UV protected wandering Jew bush. An ivory mum bush. The red Japanese maple leaf spray. And the amber maple leaf spray.
Okay.
Optional add-ons, if you are not poking this directly into a pot with dirt, we do have listed in the product description the Sterling metal pot and 2 blocks of floral foam, as well as an optional bow add-on. And again, this is the Giving Thanks Porch Pot Kit.
Well, the pot is 10 by 10. If you have a planter that's roughly that size or maybe as big as 14 inches, this will help fill your pot out pretty well if you're just dropping it into dirt. If you're concerned about needing to fill a larger diameter planter, just add another mum or add another bush of greens. Something like that will definitely fill it in for you. I'm going to use my demo pot for this design. If you were going to use the foam in the pot, I use a couple inches, well, probably 4 to 6 inches of some white styrofoam filler in the bottom, something that's a scrap from shipping to lift into or to fill the bottom of the planter, and then place these 2 blocks of foam glued together on the top layer, flush or below the rim of your planter. So again, build up the bottom with some free foam, glue it in there, layer 2 blocks glued together on the top, and get those recessed below the top rim of the pot. This is my demo pot here that I'm going to use and not glue one up for you again today. More pots to help you sell that way. This one is going to go into my planter here with without glue. I will disassemble it later. This is a very tall twig, so we can sink that into the back of the pot and start out with our taller components first. One thing to do, whether this is your pot of dirt or this planter itself, is make sure you're working towards the back of the planter, because if you start in the middle, your design will get front heavy. If you start from the back and work your way forward, you will have a nice design finished in 2/3 of the way around, built from tall to shorter in a nice gradient fashion here. So we're going to stick in the branches, then the red leaves, then the autumnal lantern in front like so. Then we're going to layer in the maple leaf, which is needing to be opened up and shaped out a little bit. And that one goes in front. Then we will also want to position our 2 different larger bushes. I like to see the sunflower taller. And then, of course, the mum, being shorter, goes off towards the front. So from the side view, can you get a good idea of how we're layering from front to back to build up to make a nice pot with depth instead of something that seems a little flat? So just an important designer tip in getting those placements down so that you have your best results. There we go. And I do like the fact that naturally the length of the sunflower sits easily above the mum. And now if we add our color to help bring the burgundy color back down from the top, here we'll position some of these leaves so you can see them. We're going to run the Wandering Jew plant underneath the mum here for some great looking contrast. That helps your eye see the burgundy from the top repeated towards the bottom of the planter, which is a nice tie-in. And then if you choose to add a bow, the bow can bring your rust color underneath the mum and repeat the rust color. What was the title of the bow that we had suggested? And then here is our pepperoni.
Bittersweet fall bow.
Oh, sure, I know which one that is. Okay, so then our peperomia is going to fill out one side, and the wandering purpley plant here is filling out the other. So they're kind of like left and right. This peperomia bush is quite full and chunky. It's also a dark green, and that's why we use it. It keeps things looking rich, but it also is necessary if you have a larger pot to maybe fill up a little bit more real estate. You could grab another one of these, or if you like the purpley tone, grab another one of those. Get some more color in if your pot is larger. So I think my little bittersweet bow got moved.
It might have sold too.
Okay, yeah, I had it. There is a new bow coming online. It looks like this.
Oh yeah, it was removed because that one sold out, but we did restock it. But I don't see it in here.
Okay.
There's lots of bows.
There's lots of bows. I think if you select a bow from the online store, this new one is going to be available here today. And she's photographing
Riley is
it.
getting them online right now.
Yep.
It looks like.
And then there's another one that has a nice dark rust to it. So I think a bow that has a good strong rust color is going to be a pretty one to add.
Gorgeous. They're loving this one. I like the little bit of burgundy in the back. The ivory mum is so bright and fun in the front.
Very, very showy for your mum, that's for sure. Love that look.
Gorgeous. Okay, ready for the last one? We have about 5 minutes.
Okay. Also, copper pumpkin picks make a nice statement. If you haven't gotten one of those, this is a beautiful way to feature one of our copper pumpkin picks coming in 2 styles.
Okay, so this next one I thought would help transition into part 2 this afternoon, where we're going to be showing a lot more of the burgundies and chocolates. And we're going to be doing a centerpiece kit.
Okay.
If we can get all the things here.
We'll get organized. Include the foam, include the moss,
Yep.
and include the bowl.
There is no optional. It's all included.
Okay.
Even the skip.
So this one, to make a centerpiece, I have cut several of these components. So I'm going to show you a full bush, a full stem, 2 full stems, and I should have grabbed a full stem, but we don't have it. There we go.
The cuts.
Yep.
And we'll move these out of the way.
This, and it's going to come with this.
Okay.
Components.
All right, you ready for this one?
Yes.
Who's ready? So hard to decide, Carol said. Love them all. I know I'm going to like the burgundy. My husband is not going to like me tonight. Oh, funny.
Every husband has a vice. We just need to know what it is.
The Happy Harvest step sitter is showing the stem layout vertically. Oh, like the photos rotated? That's, yeah. Should the bows have an even or odd number of loops?
Oh, makes no difference. Just stop when it's big enough.
There you go. Okay, let's see.
No right or wrong to bow design.
I'm ready to go. This is the Happy Fall Centerpiece Kit. Regular price of $106.99. It comes with all the things you see here, including floral foam, Spanish moss, the lightweight planter, and the flowers included are the brown sunflower spray, 2 pepperweed sprays, the plum coleus bush, and 2 woodland berry picks.
Okay. Simple enough. It's going to be an easy centerpiece. As easy as centerpieces get, generally centerpieces are a harder item to create. This one's going to come with a full block of foam. And your first step would be to cut your foam and get that glued into your design bowl. So I have already pre-glued for the photography purpose, but it takes roughly half a block, maybe slightly more than half a block of foam. So cut it with any kitchen knife, get it in there with some glue, and you're ready to go. Then we also are going to be positioning our 2 pinecone picks here. These guys are not cut. They come this short, and we're doing them as a left and a right, and they are going to take up a lot of real estate. They also have a pretty big stem. So before I put my moss on, I'm just going to glue a left and a right pinecone in place. Now this pinecone is inserted to nearly touch the top of the design foam here. Just a little bit above it, and one going each direction, which I've kind of shaped my stem to lay out. So the goal is to get your 2 pine cones centered in the bowl. Once you have that in place, we're going to add our moss in. I'm just helping these lay out a little bit. And you're going to use some of the moss in your bag, but probably not all of it. I will lightly pull it through and stretch it out. You don't want your moss very dense. You just need a little skim coating. If it gets too dense, then every time you go to insert a stem, you're also shoving the moss into the hole with the stem, and that makes it frustrating. So lightly designing with a little moss is always preferred. So there's our base. Easy enough for you. Now we're going to take our sunflower stem and we're going to cut that into a shorter version of itself. So here's the full stem. We're cutting it way down, just below the last joint right there. So that's how that's come out. And then notice that these 2 leaves on the bottom, which are not garbage, those are going to be used as well. They may have fallen. I had 2 sunflower leaves. Those 2 sunflower leaves have heavy gauge wire in them, enough to insert them into the foam. So you'll also be pulling the little leaves out of the stem and using those. Don't want to waste them. So then our sunflower does a nice little 3-part centerpiece. Once you've got it cut short, you just wiggle through the moss, make a spot, and I'm going to glue everything. You would not need to. That's the step that we do here automatically. Make a spot and glue that guy down. So this becomes the top of your centerpiece, and your 3 sunflowers are staggered nicely to form your centerpiece. Then our next step would be to place all the coleus throughout, and we're going to add this last. So the coleus gets cut apart into pieces. You literally just take the bush, cut it all off the base, and what you'll be left with are these nice long stems. They are heavy enough gauge of wire to poke into your foam easily. And it looks like I had one that was like a double. Let's put the double up towards the top with the most height. So we're just going to create a nice oval centerpiece with a little nice gradient of height tapering down by deciding which pieces go where here. So once you got your top pieces, we could then take two of the longer stems and do a left and a right. And that will fan out towards the ends of your oval. Oval would be the ultimate traditional centerpiece shape. And you also can sort of take some of the pick with the pine cone and pull some of those leaves up so that it's not just all hiding on the bottom. As you're going along, you can lift some of these up into the design too. There we go. And now we still have 3 extra stems. So of course we want one on the front and the back to fill. And one back here to fill. They're getting placed kind of near the pine cone with the idea that they're taking up your sides of your centerpiece. If you feel like any stem is too long, you can also shorten it and just cut it in half and put the short half in as filler. Don't be afraid to trim stems up if something's bothering you about the stem length. We're just kind of giving a guidance here. And that is one last piece to place. Looks like wherever your hole is, mine is up in the top where the sunflower has a little gap on the back. So it fills in pretty well. Then this stem gets cut off pretty short. So we like the color. It gives great contrast. It's nice filler. It'll soften it up for you. The stems were cut off quite short. One goes on each side of the center at the top up here. That really fills in and brightens. I am dipping in pan glue off sides. You would not need glue, but you could also use glue gun glue. There we go. And then lastly, what you'll have remaining is just those 2 little leaves. So find a spot at the base of the centerpiece wherever there might be a little hole and use those to fill the hole. This is also something in the centerpiece that we would use small pieces of leaves that have fallen off other designs that we created to fill in. Sometimes those used to fill in holes. You could add more berries to this design if you wanted to, and you could also glue in some pumpkins if you wanted to. Right in here would be room for added pumpkins if you'd like. You just put a stem into the foam pumpkin and you can pick them right in there. So additional pumpkins would make a great add-on to this centerpiece also.
Fun. The Happy Fall Centerpiece Kit, regularly $106. And don't forget, all of the DIY weekend is 15% off today, the 9th and 10th of August. Grab that deal while you can. Okay,
Keeping
so
it simple.
that is the end of part 1. We're going to come back at noon Central, so in 1 hour, and we're going to give you part 2 with a lot of the stuff behind Mom. So we're going to have a lot of things to do. I think it'll be about 2 hours. We'll see.
Yeah, keep in mind while you're shopping to check out the vases and the containers. Also 15% off today, and all of our ribbon and bows.
All right.
We'll see you soon.